Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saur Darkchylde. I am a player with autism, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Dual Destinies from Apollo Justice Trilogy. Last time, we did our second day investigation for her Turnabout Academy, where we got a little bit more secrets unveiled. For instance, that mysterious statue inside that picture from the prosecution, that was actually the Statue of Justice. The voice print was actually indeed Juniper, but it turns out that it might be fabricated. False evidence. And questioning our client one last time, we finally got her to confess that she actually suspected it to be Hugh because of two reasons. One, she overheard him about taking bribing his way through the school. And the other reason was on the night of the mock trial, night before the mock trial, when she encountered him, his blood was covered in hands. So, do you think we got a chance of saving all three of them, proving none of them are the murderer? Or is our murderer her person, and that did it, Hugh O'Connor? Let's find out. October 26, 2027, 9:45 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Were you able to sleep last night?
Huh? Oh, sleep. Sure I slept. For a grand total of 0 hours.
Good morning. And you two? You look like you're ready to put on a real show. But before you do, I have a good luck gift for you. The voice prints analysis are back, and the results couldn't be more clear. The voice in the mock trial and the tape recording are one and the same. In other words, the recording's a fabrication. The lab is continuing to study for their study of the tape. So far, they found signs of no overdubbing. This is going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. Who is there? Wait! Did you see who it was? No. I got a quick look, but they got away. I think it might have been Hugh, but he was eavesdropping.
I wonder if he saw our hand.
Oh, I'm sure he wasn't the only one just now. I bet Robin and Box Girl were listening in too. I'll make sure they don't make a run for it. That is my final gift to you. Okay, all that's left now is to reach out to the truth. Time for a mini Courts of Steel workout. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! Your turn.
I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine.
court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The Sykes Brigade is totally... he's psyched. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is ready as well, isn't that right, Prosecutor Blackquill? Yes. Well, moving right along, yesterday's adjournment was unexpected yet necessary. But I'll be running a tight ship here today, so no funny business from anybody. Understood?
Your boldness, Robin Newman and Hugh O'Connor have recanted their confessions. But later I shall grill them at leisure to find whether I can charge them for perjury.
Well, this sure complicates matters. Still, one must not overlook the facts. Now, about the school camera photo that was submitted yesterday.
A pity, but that evidence is no longer relevant to this case. The art room clock runs fast. It cannot function as an accurate measure of time. As for the bungling detective who overlooked that, he is paying for his failure as we speak.
Poor Detective Fulbright. I hope he returns to work with all his body parts intact.
But if that's the case, then what will we...
The accused is the sole person who could have moved the body from the art room to the stage. And I mean to prove it here this day.
It's just like Detective Fulbright said, but what else does he have up his sleeve?
My understanding of this heinous crime is thus. The murder took place near the center of the art room, as evidenced by the blood stain. Blood was also found on some pottery next to the window over the maintenance area. Which is to say, the body was carried over to that very window. From there, it was dropped down to the maintenance area below. And through there was nearly a scratch to the body aside from a fatal wound. That too was per the script. A high jump mat was employed to cushion the fall. Then a ball cart was used to haul the body over to the stage.
That's not very clever. It's the same exact body moving scheme as the script. Anyone could have moved the body that way.
Objection!
Your propensity to spew forth words before you think is not very clever either.
Why, you?
Moreover, the prosecution has a witness, which is most unfortunate for you. Witness, it's time for you to come forth.
Well then, will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Hugh O'Connor. I'm a senior at Themis Legal Academy, and I'm studying to be a lawyer. Yesterday, I told that lawyer there that I would testify the truth. So, I intend to cooperate, fully in today's trial. Happy now, Miss Sykes?
What's he up to now?
The court appreciates your cooperation, Mr. O'Connor. Now, your testimony, please. What O'Connor saw. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. She was heading towards me, so I assumed she was on her way to the maintenance area. But I didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that. The real truth hurts so much, doesn't it, Miss Sykes? Or maybe you thought I was going to bring up something else entirely against your client?
Never a snappy comeback when I need one.
He's coming straight at us today, using any means possible. To protect the students who had to climb up high when setting up the stage. A mat was brought over to the stage from the storehouse.
Our client is the student council president. What's wrong with her taking it upon herself to put a mat away after she used it?
Objection!
Oh, there is plenty wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a fall from such lofty heights. Ergo, the mat in question was indispensable to moving the body.
It sucks being the last one to know everything.
I think I get it now. The dragon marks we saw behind the stage were made by the mat. If the only mat that was thickness was of that thickness were the body, he is assumed to have been dropped. It would be hard to deny a possible link to this case. We're off to a bad start again. You sure you're okay, Athena?
It's game on, Hugh. Game on.
I'm gonna turn your arrogant
Perfect score in grin into a teary-eyed frown of failure.
The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the school campus was empty.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it right there!
What? I was just getting to the important part. Eager to unsheathe your blades, Sykes-Donald? Your heavy breaths heaves to where I stand.
Objection!
How rude! A human's breath doesn't travel anywhere near that far.
Oh, the only issue is distance? You're not denying that you're a heavy breather?
I'm just saying that scientific studies have proven that it's not.
Hang in there, Athena. No matter how many insults they hurl, it won't affect the judge's opinion on you.
What about my own self-esteem?
Let's get back to what happened before the mock trial. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage.
Our client was simply putting the mat away. It has nothing to do with this case.
Objection!
That is where you're wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a 3-story fall. Hence, the mat dragged by the accused was essential to moving the body.
Ugh. If we win this one, I promise to donate another thick mat to the academy.
Now, show me how to show you the truth. You'll have my full cooperation. I was watching her from a vantage point area between the stage and the maintenance area.
Objection!
So you saw the back of the stage from between the stage and the maintenance area? Well, let's take a look at this photo taken by Miss Scuttlebutt, shall we? This photo was taken by students setting up the stage the day before the mock trial. Do you see the big construction screen to the right of the stage in the background there?
Why, yes. In fact, there were a bunch of those next to my house until a few days ago, too. It was so noisy behind there, but I couldn't take a peek. Oh, how it piqued my interest.
Exactly, Your Honor. You cannot see past such screens. That is their purpose. Now, let's see. How exactly is that screen positioned again? Aha! Since it was right to the right of the screen, it should be right here. And from this vantage point, the witness claims to have seen our client behind the stage backdrop.
Oh my! But the screen would have been complete. But the screen would have been completely in the way.
That's right. Therefore, the witness couldn't have possibly seen our client from this point.
Ah, youch. Order! Order! Mr. O'Connor! You have been lying to this court? The screen.
Right. It must have slipped my mind. What? Are you telling me you, Mr. Genius, forgot something as literally big as that?
There are two kinds of memory lapses. The normal kind you mouth breathers have, and the genius level lapses of memory that people like me have.
Why don't you just admit that it was a normal, everyday brain fart already?
Will the witness now please rephrase? He's what he remembers minus the lapse of memory? That's easy. I was on the other side of the screen. In other words, I witnessed Juniper from the stage side on the screen.
Objection!
You are testifying that our client was behind the stage. But need I remind this court, the back of the stage is not visible from the front. To actually see our client behind the stage from the stage side of the screen, the witness himself would also have to be on the same area behind the stage. But in that case, our client would have definitely seen Mr. O'Connor.
Ugh, ouch.
Nice one, Athena. Keep it up.
Objection!
All right, Golden Boy. This is not your chance. Is this not your chance? Telling the truth will be like a weight lifted from your chest.
The truth? What truth?
The fact that Golden Boy here was where he initially stated. That is to say, he was between the maintenance area and the stage.
Objection!
But then the screen would have blocked his view of...
Objection!
On the ground, yes, his view would have been blocked indeed. But consider how smoke always wants to rise up high.
Athena, look at the photo again. Do you think... something on the other side of the screen, something high enough to see the stage? No way! This crane right there? But I don't remember seeing a crane there on the day of the mock trial.
Me neither, but it's possibly safe to assume it was moved before you found the body. Hold it. That's far enough, Prosecutor Blackquill. Remember, you promised! I recall making no such promises. It was you who came blabbering to me about keeping quiet in exchange for information.
What's all this about a promise? Is this about whatever Blackquill was using against him? And what's it got to do with going into the crane?
Golden Boy did not go up in that crane for fun. He was working part-time as a crane operator within school grounds. What? Do you mean to tell me a high school student was operating a crane? Objection! The witness, I object to the prosecutor's last statement.
There's no proof I ever operated that crane.
Hold it!
Actually, there just might be something that proves you did.
What?
If this whole part-time thing is true, I doubt it would be limited to a single day. You were probably working at the same site the previous day, too. Is this what you're talking about, Athena? Yep. As the court can see, this photo captured the crane's operator. And if you look carefully, he bears a definite resemblance to Mr. O'Connor.
Are you serious? This is ridiculous! How very interesting. Let's assume whether this is as ridiculous as the witness maintains.
The defense agrees with the prosecution. Let's bring the facts to light.
That's all very well and good, but just how do you prove to do that?
The person in this photo has one really distinguishing feature. I'm not 100% sure, but it's at least worth a try. We can clearly identify the person in this room, in this photo, as the witness is by examining his neck. The figure in this photo is wearing a very unique object around his neck.
Why, yes, you can see it right there. But then, are you saying you mean to?
Mr. O'Connor's neck is almost entirely concealed by his tall collar. But that's exactly why I believe this warrants further examination.
No, not a chance. That would be a blatant violation of my privacy.
You are a disgrace of a man. Now start unbuttoning that collar before I hack it off. Yeah, what's the big deal? Now let's see your neck.
Guess I have no choice. Oh my.
So, where did you buy that neck brand, if I may ask?
I didn't buy it. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world.
Well, it sure looks like a neckband. And in the photo, should we have a photo analyzed?
You are one irritating lady. Fine, I admit it. I work part-time construction job. It has nothing to do with our school. Operating heavy equipment's no big deal for a guy who can parallel park one-handed. But I never expected one of my jobs would take me to my own school. But when you factor in all of the required tests and apprenticeships per period, wouldn't you have to be at least 20 to have a license for operating a crane? Oh, about that. You see, I'm a genius, so you know.
Objection!
Let us dispense with this insane charade, golden boy.
No, Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't!
His high school seniors are 19 at most. Thus, they failed to complete the requirements. But that does not apply to you, does it, Mr. O'Connor? Why doesn't it apply? He's a senior, so he's around that age, right?
No, please!
Actually, Golden Boy here is 25. He took a 7-year break from school. Wait, come again? Take a gander at the official school enrollment documentation. 'Tis all right there. Ouch! 25? You mean he's older than me?
A 7-year break? 7 years.
I've just one thing to say. 7 years? That's how long Phoenix Wright didn't have his badge. And in the events, how long it took before the events of Apollo Justice took place. Anyway, back to what he has to say.
There are two kinds of 7-year breaks. The ordinary kind you mouth breathers take, and the genius kind people like me take.
Objection!
But a genius would quickly become a chore for a 7-year break.
I think you have that backwards, Athena. Even geniuses make mistakes. I just happen to make mine only 7 years in a row.
Only Hugh could get away with using only like that.
Enough of this jibber-jabber. Suffice to say, the witness was up in the crane when he saw the accused dragging the mat. The accused readied all she needed to move the body immediately prior to doing so. That much is clear. I see no need to deliberate, heat the matter further.
Considering that the body was moved in the same manner as the script, I find Prosecutor Blackwell's claim to be quite persuasive. Does the defense care to dissuade me?
As long as a mat was used to move the body, Junie's going to be under suspicion.
Athena, I just thought of something. What was Hugh doing in the crane right before the mock trial? He couldn't have been on the job at that time. I mean, he was waiting for the trial to start.
Yeah, why was he in the crane? Wait, you don't think... Your Honor,
Yes, Miss Sykes.
I've got it. I've got an amazing idea that will turn the prosecution's claims on its head. A little conjecture has never stopped us before.
Interesting.
Mr. O'Connor, you were using the crane to move the body. The body was just like it was in the script, so it must have been moved like in the script too. At least, that's what the prosecution believes. How simplistic, even foolish.
Those are pretty strong words, Athena. Are you sure about this?
The witness is a licensed crane operator, so he could have used it to move the body.
Objection!
Well, Golden Boy, care to chime in? I intend to say no more on the matter, save that this does not bode well for you.
Wait, he's on my side this time? Or is this another trap?
Watch this.
I can use a bow and arrow one-handed. Wow, that's a crazy level of dexterity.
I can even drive a crane with one hand. That's easy. But operating a crane itself is so complex. It requires both hands. Now, I would have the court look at this.
Oh, please tell me that's ketchup. That's a ketchup stain.
You wish. My hand was injured and required surgery. That's the reason I keep my hand in my pocket all this time. I have already verified this with the hospital of treatment. Quite a nasty wound, they say.
So, how did you hurt it?
I see no need to discuss that. It has no relevance to this case. 2 hands are required to operate the complex machinery such as a crane. Ergo, on the day of the mock trial, the witness was incapable of moving the body by crane.
Not in my...
I'd planned on moving the crane the night before the mock trial, but then I got injured. Wanting to keep my part-time job a secret, I had to do it just before the mock trial instead.
And here I thought I was... this was a big break when we've been waiting for.
Now that the defense's sovereignty is laid bare, I would have the court recall my claim.
The body was dropped out of a 3rd floor window to a mat near the maintenance area. Then a ball cart was used to move it to the stage. See? I've been paying attention.
Well done, your baldness. Now consider this. The accused was sighted dragging the mat. Ergo, it was she who moved the body.
Well, I think you were on the right track, Athena. You do?
Yep.
Juniper remains the prime suspect if we assume the body was moved per her script. So, as the defense, you have to figure out how else the body could have been moved. But... oh, is he telling me to think of another way besides the crane?
Miss Sykes, if you have a counter-argument, this court would love to hear it, and
If you do not, it is time for the verdict. Is that correct, your baldness?
Objection!
No, not yet. All I have to do is show that the body wasn't moved like it was in the script, right?
well, that would show that the mat had nothing to do with this case.
There is a sword of great renown that cuts down sulfuric lawyers. Its name is evidence.
You don't scare me. Force a smile, Athena. You can do it.
What's wrong with your face, Athena? It's a weird mix of terror and a creepy grin. Just focus on how the body could have been moved without it being dropped.
How could anyone lower it without just dropping it? It's not like it could fly. Or maybe it could. After all, there is a way to zip between the art room and the stage. Someone could have easily used that thing.
Oh, yes, of course. Miss Sykes, the court would like to see what you have for us.
All I have to do now is show the teeniest shred of the possibility. The mat and ball cart weren't used to move the body. This was used.
Take that!
The key here is is the thing that ties. He's a part of the room and the stage together.
Might I suppose an idea? It might do you well to tie your lips together, lest you further expose your ignorance.
This isn't exactly the time for a black comedy, Prosecutor Blackquill. Anyway, the court will recall the wire on which the school banner was hung. That wire was strung between the art room and the stage, which allowed students to run or reel in the school banner from the art room. The body could easily been moved lower down onto the stage via a wire.
Objection!
Spare me the armchair theories. This wasn't some kind of high wire act. The body surely would have fallen, yet there are no stains of blood force trauma.
Objection!
Oh, you surprise me, Prosecutor Blackquill. You didn't actually think I failed to account for that.
I'm sure that's exactly what he thought.
When we investigated the stage yesterday, the bottom part of the school banner had been tied in a pouch-like shape. The pouches are useful for carrying things. What do you think this one could have carried?
Well, go on. Please explain.
The body was bundled into the pouch-like section of the banner and sent down the wire. The body would have been pinned down on the stage in a flash, and there's no need for the mat.
I've heard the phrase carrying the banner. But the banner doing the carrying?
Objection!
I've no patience for you and your cheap parlor tricks. Your claim is as sharky as a corpse performing that absurd high wire tricks.
If you have an actual objection, then just come out and say it.
I trust you recall the blood stains left on the art room pottery. If the wire had been used to move the body, it would have been via the window above the quad. The one with the watch. The one with the winch. However, the bloodstained pottery was next to the window above the maintenance area. Ergo, the wire and banner had not at all to do with this case.
Oh, the bloodstained pottery. I remember that.
This doesn't look good. We'll be back to the mat theory if you don't do something.
Well, Miss Sykes, I hope you have something better than this time than a circus act.
If my wire theory is true, then that blood on the pottery must have been the victim's blood. Maybe it's not the victim's blood. Did the police check to see from whom the blood on the pottery came from?
Shame on you, Sykes Dono. Have a little more respect for the constabulary. Constabulary. Fulbright. Looks like they didn't check it.
Ha! Don't let it get you down, Prosecutor Blackwell. Everyone makes mistakes.
Spare me your cheek. We will know who not either way till the tests are run.
True, but in the meantime, I'm going to press my claim as far as I can.
Your boldness, I demand that the blood on the pottery be analyzed this instant. Of course. It shouldn't take long to get the results back. Oh my, that was quick.
We're history if it turns out to be the victim's blood. Please, let it be someone else's.
Ugh. It seems the blood was not from the victim. What? Furthermore, a comparison with the other parties involved with this case reveals that the blood belongs to one Hugh O'Connor.
Score! Don't worry, Junie. Just try to relax. His hands were dripping with blood. Your Honor, as we saw earlier, the witness's left hand was suffered a serious injury. He sustained the wound in a struggle with the victim, and his blood got on the pottery. Then Junie saw his blood-stained hands as they passed each other in the first floor hall. That's the only explanation that covers everything.
Objection!
There is but one way now to turn aside her blade, but do not cast the blame on me. Your grudge is with Sykes Dono, for it is she who forces me to expose your secret.
Fine, whatever. Wow, how much dirt does he have on Hugh?
The court will observe this odd-looking envelope. It was inside this that Miriam Scuttlebutt's script was found.
Miss Scuttlebutt's? But didn't the prosecution already claim that? This envelope is the one that contained her script?
Circumstances have changed. You see, Golden Boy has hidden this from us all. Let's see here. My word! Talk about the world's most painful paper cut. Indeed. You can clearly see that if this envelope was not opened correctly, a powerful spring-loaded blade will shoot forth, leaving a horrible gash upon the hand. The only one who had been told of the correct way to open it was Constance Court.
You really want to see my script that bad? Well, you better watch out. Read it without my permission, and you'll wish you haven't. Yikes! Miriam wasn't kidding when she said that.
The blood on the blade is the witness's. Our genius here tried to sneak a peek at the wrong script and paid for his foolishness.
Ouch! This guy's the worst genius I've ever seen!
Don't worry, Athena. The wound isn't that deep. We still got the wire theory.
Yeah, I've got it. Since the blood by the window overlooking the maintenance area isn't the victim's, there's no longer any basis for denying the body was moved using the wire or banner. Therefore, the defense once again asserts just that.
You call yourself a lawyer? Do you see the glaring contradiction in your thinking?
Huh?
The court would like to remind the witness that his role is not to point out. And you, how can you adhere to such outdated beliefs? But whatever. It seems you've forgotten the two statues that were on stage directly below the wire. The body sent sliding down that wire would have crashed into them. Care to explain that anyway? Why, I believe he's right. The statues and the wire are extremely close together.
So the body would have collided with the statues. What if they did collide? Wait, that's it! Speaking of those statues, we still don't know how they were broken. If we assume the body crashed into them, that would also explain that loud noise we heard while we were in the waiting room.
Oh, now that you mention it. You and Mr. Wright went out to the stage after you heard that sound, correct?
Objection!
Interesting. How very interesting. But may I ask you just one question? When was it that you heard that sound?
It was just a little after the mock trial had started. Mr. Wright and I were practically bored to tears there in the waiting room when,
Precisely. If that sound you heard did happen while the body was being moved, that would place it during the mock trial.
Oof. Which means the body wouldn't have been there before the mock trial started.
You see, right before the mock trial started, I saw the body.
He said he saw the body before the mock trial. If so, then my claim that the body was moved during the mock trial doesn't hold water. Stupid contradiction. It's going to get me and our case killed.
The focus was focused on just 3 suspects because the body was moved before the mock trial. That has been the major premise thus far. Your assertion, therefore, contradicts the very foundation of this case.
Objection!
Both sides still lack incontrovertible evidence. So, should we not also treat Golden Boy's testimony with some level of suspicion? Good point.
Prosecutor Blackwell is on our side. I bet he's figured out the truth behind this case. Well, great, as long as he's not up to something else. If the statues really were broken when the body hit them, then Hugh's statement about seeing the body before the mock trial is a big fat lie. Okay, Mr. O'Connor. Let's get to the bottom of this contradiction about when you saw the body. Look me straight in the eye and repeat your statement to me.
Like I said before, before the mock trial, the body was, you know.
I shall only say this once, golden boy. You had best tell the truth and do it now. That is, if your head wishes to enjoy the continued companionship of your body. Yikes! Now, out with it. Did you truly witness the body? Or were you just lying about it? Well, which is it? You what? I never saw the body.
Are you sure about that? Lie to this court again and I'll charge you with perjury. There was no body on that stage. I've been lying about that this whole time. I'm sorry.
Yes, we expose Hugh's big fat lie for what it is. But why would he lie about this to begin with?
Order. The base premise that the body was moved before the mock trial has been overturned. I imagine this is an impact on both the defense and prosecution's case.
Well, first I'd like to thank the prosecutor. This brings us one step closer to the truth. Now, at least. For we know how the body was moved using the wire and school banner.
Indeed, that much I shall concede, Sykes Dono. The body was moved as you stated, and in the midst of the mock trial. So both sides are satisfied then? If the body was moved before the mock trial, we have our 3 suspects. But if the move took place in the midst of the mock trial, it is an entirely different story.
Right. All 3 suspects were in the mock trial. That gives them solid alibis.
Objection!
How simplistic. Did you forget about the student in charge of the audio? Amidst the mock trial, she was the one soul who could leave and render the lecture hall. What's this? Who is this person in charge of the audio?
Oh no. How could I forget? It was... Hey, what's the deal here? Why is Junie so large in this shot? Juniper was also in charge of the audio. When she wasn't in the trial, she was in the audio control room dealing with the music.
Indeed, the one who could enter the art room amidst the mock trial to move the body was none other than the accused, Juniper Woods, for she was in charge of the audio.
No!
Why, yes, I see. That does make perfect sense.
This can't be happening. Instead of exposing Hugh's crime, Junie's in even deeper. No matter how you slice it, we're cooked. And here I thought Prosecutor Blackwell was on our side. At least on this issue.
The Twisted Samurai strikes again.
Twisted? More like dirty rotten.
Your baldness, it is time to put an end to this farce.
The prosecution has presented a quite convincing evidence. But the defense has one last chance to voice any remaining objections. Well, Miss Sykes?
Apollo, what are we going to do? I've got nothing left. Nothing. Nada. Zilth. Night. Say.
I've been trying to think of something, but I'm drawing a total blank.
Poor Junie. Unless we figure out something, she'll be... Objection. Objection. Well, I object to...
Hold it. Stop right there. All ears to me. It's time you hear about a rare genius, Hugh O'Connor.
Listen, and you will hear the secret behind my perfect crime.
Perfect?
Crime? Wait, this is some serious deja vu. Didn't we just go through something like this yesterday?
Yes, we did. This had better not be another one of his enraging traps. The murder, moving the body, the cover-up, it all sprung from my brilliant mind. Well, go ahead, arrest me. The real killer is right before you.
Order, I say! Mr. O'Connor! You already confessed yesterday. Then earlier today, you recanted your confession.
As if you mouth breathers could comprehend my genius. The end justifies the means. Now bow down and kneel. Kneel before my great and meddling intellect.
Objection!
Enough. The only thing maddening in the ignominy you bear for all to see. For it is impossible for you to have been the perpetrator behind this crime. There is no perfect crime, only a perfect alibi, for you were at the mock trial. And it is silly that I must remind you of this, but you were a participant the entire time. There shall be no mercy if you persist in hindering this trial with your silly little act.
Hugh doesn't seem the least bit shaken by Blackwell's threat.
Listen, Mr. Prosecutor, calling that a perfect alibi is beyond contempt. Your Honor, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer further testimony. I will now demonstrate the very moment the genius that transcended even perfection. Hugh's confession.
You won't believe this, but I used a body double. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double almost did. I slipped out stealthily while my double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent.
I have a question I was hoping to the defense and prosecution might help answer. Is it just me, or does the witness's testimony make no sense at all?
No, it's just you, Your Honor. All I got from listening to that was a headache.
Yeah, that was just plain weird. Especially the whole thing about a body double. Well, I'm relieved it's not just me. And the prosecution?
Your boldness. Summon an ambulance this instant. The witness is stark raving mad.
Yes, I think that would be for the best. Now then, let's pretend that never happened and move on to my verdict.
Hold it! You people don't believe me? It's not a matter of not believing you. It's more along the lines of questioning your sanity.
Yeah, the funny farm just called. They want their genius back. Objection. Shut your pie holes. The intellect of a genius transcends even logic. Besides, don't you guys have that weird device used for testimony like this?
Objection!
Which is not a weird device, and I don't waste him on ridiculous testimonies.
Easy there, Tiger. Think of it this way. We don't want our verdict to be passed down just yet. So how about we give Widget a try?
Well, this is against my better judgment, but I'd like to conduct a short therapy session.
Your better judgment? I'm a judge, and it's far beyond mine. Yet, I find it hard to say no. Prosecutor Blackquill, I trust you have no objections. Prosecutor Blackquill? The prosecution said, Robert, yes, we'll be out for a stroll. We'll then left with Detective Fulbright.
How does he get away with stuff like that?
Then I'll interpret that as meaning he has no explicit objections. All right, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your therapy session while this bird is scratching his neck on my head. I've seen my share of crazy trials, but this one takes the cake. Overwhelming joy for this.
You won't believe this. I used a body double. He wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't lose. I didn't almost lose. My body double did. I slipped out stealthily while my double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper is innocent.
Got it!
Mr. O'Connor, Yesterday you said that you didn't really care about Miss Woods anymore.
I already told Juniper, so I might as well tell you. I don't really care about her anymore.
What? Why?
Yeah, well, Juniper reported my secret to Professor Court.
His secret? Oh, the bribe.
She wanted nothing to do with me because I had disappointed her. That's why I didn't care. That's why I don't care about her anymore. I was never trying to protect her. My confession was always about one thing and one thing only: the truth.
Objection!
Mr. O'Connor, you feel great happiness in the fact that you might help set Miss Woods free. So much so that it overshadowed all of your other emotions.
What are you...
I can hear it clearly now, Mr. O'Connor. The discord you've been trying to suppress. People don't normally feel like you do when you confess.
So Hugh really was trying to protect Juniper?
Yes, I'm sure of it. Hugh's feelings for her were the real deal. All right. But that means he's confident confession is... Finally figured out the obvious, have we?
Oh wait, that was him. Why, Prosecutor Blackquill, you're back!
The confession was naught but lies, save for the part about being in the mock trial. Can we all agree now that the killer is the one in charge of the audio, i.e. the accused?
Gah, why couldn't you have taken a longer stroll?
No, you haven't unraveled the genius of my body double trick yet.
You can't be serious. Do you really expect us to believe you had a body double?
Yes, I do. But I think you didn't. But if you think you didn't, then prove it, huh?
Either we quit here or Juniper is found guilty, or we play along with Hugh's delusion.
Let's go with the least worst choice. But first, let me update this testimony.
This was a tricky one when I did it the first time, but you want to pinpoint the joy emotion on this statement.
Got it!
I didn't almost lose, you say? How very odd. You exhibited happiness the entire time, except during that statement.
You don't know when to give up. Wait, now that I think about it...
No, don't. Stop making stuff up.
When I left the lecture hall... It was during Professor Means' pre-trial speech. That's when I moved the body. I then slid back in just before the verdict.
So you're saying you were there the moment your double was about to lose?
Yes, I was. Naturally, I wasn't happy when I saw that. In any case, it was the far end of the lecture hall behind the screen. I figured no one would see me if I came and went through the doors there.
Objection!
Sakes, Dono. How much longer will you indulge him in this charade? While it's true that none of the audience might see him go through either of those doors, the faculty seats on the balconies are a different story and have a splendid view.
I thought you could do better than that. The lawyer's bench is on the right side when facing the front of the hall. I used the door on the right side near the lawyer's bench. That means my movements were only visible to someone on the left balcony seat. But that seat was empty at the time, which is only natural. After all, it belonged to Professor Court, and as we all know, she was already dead by then.
That can't be right. An empty balcony seat on the left side contradicts this piece of evidence.
Take that!
I've no idea where this contradiction is going, but I don't have any other moves at this point. Guess I'll have to follow it and see where it takes me. You said the left balcony seat was empty, but was it really?
I saw it with my own eyes. It was definitely empty.
But what about this diagram? According to this, Professor Means is supposed to be seated on the left side balcony seat. But if you left the lecture hall during this pre-trial speech, he would have been standing in there at the seat addressing the students and faculty.
Gah, no! That can't be right!
You do know many favors. Hers by exposing the falsities of his confection.
I've told plenty of lies so far, but this part is true, I tell you. There was nobody in the left balcony seat. You gotta believe me.
It doesn't seem like he's lying this time. Okay, Mr. O'Connor. Let's have you testify again. This time, don't spare any details.
You got it. I'll repeat as many times as you'd like. I mean, my ingenious escape act warrants repeating, considering I'm the real killer.
All I really care about is whether that seat was empty or not.
The second floor was deserted. Why won't you believe me? It's true, I tell you. I went out through the back door without anyone noticing. Then, all I had to do was go through the empty audio control room.
Got it!
I detected a powerful sadness and fear right after you said this part. It's as if you said something you shouldn't have.
What's wrong with you? You shouldn't reveal a person's inner feelings for all to see.
Mr. O'Connor, It's you who is revealing your inner emotions by the way you speak. Plus, I have a good idea why you're feeling sad.
You're a horrible person. Can't you just leave me be?
You said that you went through the empty audio control room, but that's not true, is it? There was someone who returned from there once Professor Means finished his speech. And that person, who was in the audio control room was...
Take that!
I know you realized there was a problem with your statement as soon as you said it. That's why you felt so uneasy. If the audio control room was really empty, that would mean Miss Woods was roaming around the campus. Mr. O'Connor, if you really want to protect Miss Woods, just tell the truth. If you believe in her, revealing the truth is the same as protecting her.
Juniper's innocent. That's the truth. But in this dark age of the law, the truth can be easily twisted to serve anyone's needs. When the ends justify the means, your only choice is to fight back with lies.
Hugh's heart won't hold out under this battle between truth and lies. Is there something I can do to make him recant this false testimony?
I fear nothing now that I have lost everything. Go ahead, Prosecutor Blackquill. Cut me down if you wish. I thought you'd never ask. With you gone, we may simply proceed with the verdict. He broke his shackles again!
I don't want to be the poor accountant and down at the detention center.
Hugh O'Connor, in deference to your valor, I will limit your suffering with one clean blow.
Hold it!
Could you wait just one moment before you cut him down?
Silence!
Oh, he went too fast on that one, so I couldn't read it.
I've never learned about this in the law.
Careful, prosecutor.
Remember that shocking experience you had last time?
Very well, Golden Boy may live. For now.
Enough already, Mr. O'Connor. Ms. Woods would never want you to protect her this way. She values her friendship between the three of you more than anything.
Objection. That's where you're wrong. She doesn't feel anything for me now. But what does it matter anymore? I might as well tell you everything. This is no doubt news to you, but I am not and never was a genius.
Sorry, but I already knew.
Me too. And don't forget me, though in all fairness, it was pretty obvious.
I thought he was a genius at first, but...
The stuff he said was crazy.
No need to rub it in, just shut up and listen. It all started several years ago. I accidentally learned that my parents have been paying good money for my grades.
But that's bribery!
So the bribery wasn't Hugh's idea?
All of my perfect scores were the product of cold hard cash, not genius. Even worse, when I confronted my parents about it over the phone, Juniper overheard me. Oh my, what a terrible misunderstanding. I've been living a lie. Hey, I don't know what else there is to say. I'm no genius. I'm completely worthless. A perfect 0. Well now, this just got interesting.
Hugh?
Even so, I still wanted to make it up to Juniper for disappointing her like that. That's why I wanted to clear her name by putting the blame on me. I mean, she probably hates me now, so it'd be a relief for her to see me locked away.
If you were trying to help her, then why did you testify against her?
You were the ones that told me to tell the truth yesterday. So, I thought if I did, it would help her.
He wasn't trying to provoke us?
It looks like we seriously misunderstood him in more ways than one.
At the detention center yesterday, Junie was in tears when she opened up to me. But in truth, the friendship between the three of them is still rock solid. If there's something that could help me prove that to Hugh...
We even have proof of our friendship.
Yeah, as long as our friendship lasts, yes, we can bet we'll be carrying them around. I know. What about that proof of friendship they mentioned? I wonder where or what it is.
I didn't buy it. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world.
Maybe it's... No, that's definitely it. That band around his neck. Mr. O'Connor, that band around your neck. That's your proof of friendship, isn't it?
Proof of friendship? Is that anything like proof of purchase? His barcode?
In court, evidence is everything. That's why the three friends created friendship bands. It's the evidence that proves their friendship.
Oh, how very interesting and chic.
If they have doubts about their friendship, they can look to prove they have on hand. That's why Mr. O'Connor had always goes for his neck when he is pressured. It proves he still has feelings of friendship towards the other two.
It doesn't matter if I wear if these two.
Objection!
But they feel the same way, too. I know they wear their friendship bands somewhere. Junie and Robin both feel the same way as Hugh. I just know it. Everything Hugh said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may also just told me that the others Where are their proof of friendships where they easily touch it? All we have to do is think back to their testimonies. Ready? Ms. Newman holds her left arm when pressured. And Ms. Woods holds her right wrist. I know Ms. Woods very well. She would never abandon her friendship with you or something like over something like this. And taking the blame for her will only succeed in making her terribly sad.
CGI breakdown.
Robin, those bands of friendship that you made, just for the three of us. You may have forgotten about them, but not me.
Hugh! Hey, Hugh!
And to think, I should have known better than to doubt my best friends.
I didn't kill anyone, and I didn't have a body double. I didn't move the body. I didn't even see it, and it may look like I'm speed reading. Zen in the art of mastering the bar exam, but I haven't read a single word. Well, you could have fooled me. In fact, you did.
Hugh? So, Miss Sykes, can I place my trust in you? I'm going to save Junie, so yes, you can place your trust in me.
Then, am I to understand that the witness is recanting this confession?
Yes.
A most roundabout trial. I much prefer a turnabout variety myself. Now we are back to the fact that there was but one suspect who lacked an alibi, which is, in the end, the truth you've been seeking this entire time.
So we're back to square one? Now I'm exhausted and depressed. It probably doesn't matter at this point, but I might as well update the mood matrix. Huh? Does this mean...
Further resistance is futile. Time for the verdict is nigh.
Objection!
Please wait.
What sort of devilry are you up to now?
What if our client wasn't the only one without an alibi? The trial could continue, right?
Well, yes, I suppose it would. But after such a thorough investigation, does such a person really exist?
Yes, we found someone. It may have seemed like a major roundabout, but Mr. O'Connor's testimony has cracked the case. There's no more noise. Hugh's telling the truth now. During the mock trial, the balcony seat opposite of him was empty. Which means there is one person unaccounted for. Besides Junie, the only other person without an alibi during the mock trial is...
Well, who else could it be?
Take that!
The balcony seat was empty. That much is true, isn't it, Mr. O'Connor?
That's right. How many more times do I have to say it?
So basically, Professor Means wasn't where he was supposed to be during the mock trial.
Silence!
Need I remind you, every last soul in the lecture hall heard him deliver his speech?
Objection!
I know, and that's not in dispute here. Now then, and let me explain how the speech could have given an empty seat was. It was pre-recorded. What if the speech was pre-recorded? That's the only way the speech could have been delivered from an empty balcony seat.
Wait, are you accusing Professor Means? That's insane! I mean, he's the one who gave me the tape recorder. Take this to the police, he said, and tell them what you found. Tell them you found it.
What? Really? Wait a second! Mr. O'Connor, did you just say that Professor Means gave you that phony recording to you?
Phony? The defense will refrain from hurling unsubstantiated allegations. Well, I said he gave it to me, but what do you mean a phony?
Wow. Who could have seen this development? The voice shouting, "You're a goner," was recorded on this tape. It was dubbed into it using a line from our client and said in the mock trial video.
Why this? This is an extremely crucial piece of evidence.
Professor Means gave Hugh a phony tape. If that's really true, then Professor Means has guilty written all over him. Your Honor, the defense moves to call Professor Aristotle Means to the stand.
Silence!
The seat, it was never empty. 'Twas but an oversight by our dullard of a witness. An inmate, he who was formerly a surgeon, once told me something. He said it's often all too easy to overlook capital symptoms.
Objection!
Well, we're not going to overlook this oversight. If the speech was pre-recorded, the basis for suspecting our client would be shattered. Let's check with his Professor Means and see whether the empty seat was a witness oversight. A verdict without first looking into that would be inconceivable.
That's enough, both of you. Now, here's my opinion on the matter. Will a surgeon overlooking critical symptoms is a problem? A witness oversight, too, must not be overlooked. Thus, as to the matter of whether Professor Means was or was not in his faculty seat, I believe we must ask the professor himself.
I agree. Professor Means should be here in the gallery today.
Do as you please. Will you please state your name and occupation for the record?
Certainly. I am Aristotle Means. I teach the lawyer course at Themis Legal Academy. And let me add that while I welcome any opportunity to assist with the trial, I don't care for this undue suspicion.
Don't worry, Professor. We're just interested in the mock trial video right now. We just need to take another look at that speech you gave. Can we count on your cooperation in this?
Very well. If that's all you're interested in, please proceed, Miss Sykes.
We need to find some sort of evidence that shows his speech was pre-recorded.
All right. Hey, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video. Oh boy. Good afternoon. I would like to start by thanking you for coming here today. The mock trial, the crown jewel event of the school festival, will begin shortly. When I was a student here, I too could hardly wait for this day to come.
Oh no. I'd forgotten how long and boring this speech was.
Z. Wake me up when this is over.
Hey, no fair!
The experience of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adult. Ah, you there! Wake up! Pay attention!
Huh? Eh, I'm awake. Hey, isn't that right, Your Honor?
Huh? What? I'm awake too! Wide awake, see? Once again, our pure white Lady Justice will be watching over all of you today. And there already I see our contradiction. Pay attention, and you may make a difference one day. Now, let the mock trial begin. That's about it. Hit one of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I even saw some of our students with tears in their eyes.
He's obviously not familiar with the phrase bored to tears.
Listen, Sykes Dono, if you have subjected me to this epic study of tedium without purpose, Taka will feast on your tongue after I cut it out.
Hey, But you were asleep the whole time!
Well, Miss Sykes, did you notice anything strange about the speech?
Could I please hear that last part again?
Once again, our pure white Lady Justice will be watching over you today.
Hold it!
There! I finally found what we need. Professor Means, I have only one question about your speech. Why does that last part we just heard contradict this?
Take that!
The professor said the pure white Lady Justice was watching over them. But the Lady Justice in the video isn't even close to being white. It's as gold can be.
I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around that to test its authenticity.
I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now, it's true that this statue is pure white, but it broke before the mock trial began. The one you see here is its replacement.
Oh, well, that's a shame on every account.
Ironically, this golden statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one. Meaning Professor Means would have made a mistake in its color if he had been present.
It seems that I may have caused some confusion, but it was merely an oversight on my part.
Objection!
The statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like?
Well, I was in the balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white. I'm afraid this isn't sufficient enough evidence of the speech being pre-recorded.
We had our answer long ago. The accused was the only one to leave the lecture hall.
No, wait. There's got to be something that can prove that the speech was pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here and ended here. It was a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. It was only a little over 10 minutes. It felt like it went on forever. How'd you figure it out how long it was? Easy. There's a timestamp on it. All you have to do is subtract the time the speech started from the time it ended. The speech goes on from the 10-minute mark to the 20 to 35. Wait a second. I could swear I've seen this same interval of time listed among the evidence. Maybe there's another way we can use the speech to show that it was recorded.
Take that!
I would like the court to take a look at this.
And this is...
This is a voice print analysis that proves that the voice on the tape recorder belongs to our client.
Yes, But didn't we just establish that the voice on the tape recorder was a fabrication?
We did. But what I'd like to focus on is the noise that is also there.
Noise?
Yes, the defense hence believes it resulted when the tape's previous recording was erased.
And what do you hope to prove by that?
The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read? He'd at the moment Professor Means began his speech?
That would be exactly 10.
Now, let's fast forward this long-winded exercise of boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video timestamp now reads 2035. Based on this, we now know the time it took for the speech alone.
Alright, so strap the 10 minutes, and you got 10:35. 10 minutes and 35 seconds.
Right, 10 minutes and 35 seconds. The same as the noise on the tape recording. I assume you all understand what this means. Professor Means pre-recorded the speech he had been where the noise is now.
Silence!
You seem rather confident considering this is a mere happenance match of numbers.
Objection!
But is it really just numbers?
The lab is conducting their study of the tape so far. They found signs of overdubbing. But it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased.
The police are analyzing the noise as we speak. It won't be long until we know what was originally there. Now I'm sure of it. The professor was trying to create an alibi with this recording. By pinning the blame on Junie. Well, he's not gonna get away with it. Not on my watch.
Miss Sykes. I believe you are well aware of my methodology. Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose, I offered to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened.
All I've stated are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony.
Truth be told, I have no intention of testifying. I had been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake. But now that you cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth.
Uh-oh. This doesn't sound good. Especially with that creepy grin of his.
I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Professor Means, always say what I mean and mean what I say by all means.
Try saying that phrase 3 times fast. Professor means testimony.
The defendant came to me with what she said was very important, and by necessity secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. And when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do. Oh my, so you're saying the defendant threatened you?
This has to be a lie. Hey, I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true.
On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper was truly taken to heart by my teaching that states, the ends justify the means.
I don't believe you.
When she asked me to defend her, she said I must also prove her 2 friends innocent. Her 2 friends? The witnesses? Correct. Hugh O'Connor and Robin Newman. I was to ensure all 3 walk free. All 3 were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper was seeking. And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end.
You no doubt have high praise for her ruthless tactics.
Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her despite her threatening me. There was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in court. But alas, those days are over. Now it's the defense of justice, order, and all that is good. The ends justify the means.
I'm so sick of hearing that phrase. You and me both, Athena.
Though I truly agree, it truly grieves me so, oh, I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality.
That does it. He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. Since he's already surrendered to the dark side of the law, it's up to me to fight it. Why so silent, Sykes Dono? Something the matter? This is a court of law. It's no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm going to let the evidence do the talking.
Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to rectify the situation.
No, go ahead and rectify it. Only if I lose and you win, that is.
Oh boy, this episode's getting way too long. I need to wrap this up.
The defendant came to me with what she said was very important, and by necessity secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked me to get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do.
Objection!
So let me get this straight. You were trying to help Miss Woods? Huh. That's nothing more than a bald-faced lie. No offense, Your Honor.
Such defamation of my character and your hair frolics. Your Honor, it's an outrage. Miss Sykes will clarify her statement, but leave my hair fallacies out of this time.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. Now, please take a look at this. The witness gave this tape to Mr. O'Connor. Then he slyly whispered, "Take this to the police and tell them you found it."
There was no whispering, slyly or otherwise, involved. I simply did that out of kindness.
Objection!
The tape contained our client's voice. In short, it is incredibly damaging evidence. Why would it even exist if the witness wasn't trying to pin the murder on my client? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but not yours. You never had good intentions, only lies to protect yourself while blaming another. You, Professor, are the embodiment of the dark age of the law.
Why, you dare call my teachings and methods lies?
Themis Legal Academy is a proud institution. It's the most powerful in the world. You'll never forget that true education and lawyering means once I'm through with you.
Huh? Professor Means, what's with your hair?
Quiet! No talking in class!
Ow!
Eyes and ears here, everyone. Homeroom is now in session. We will begin with roll call. Athena Sykes.
Huh? Oh, here?
Apollo Justice. I'm fine. I mean, here. Fool. Oh, the proper response is here, without any exception. Extremis information. Ouch! I mean, here! Next, Your Honor.
Here.
See, class? That's the proper way to answer. Simon Blackquill. I said Simon Blackquill. Are you here or not?
There's always one, isn't there?
Well then, I'll just mark you absent. Now, get out of my class this instant.
Get out? Very well, if that is your wish. Who am I to defy my homeroom teacher?
Is that such a good idea? Prosecutor Blackquill is free from his shackles. It just so happens I was a member of my high school's disciplinarian committee. But is that really so shocking?
Constabulary, he lapdog, to teacher's pet. What malleable mutt you are, fool bright. Very good, Bobby. You just earned a gold star and a promotion to head disciplinarian.
All right, class is now in session. Why do I have a sudden urge to go to the nurse's office with a stomach ache? Pay attention, I'm not the killer, Juniper is. This will be on the next test, so you had better be listening.
Objection!
But Professor, you created a phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the only one who could have moved the body during the mock trial.
Objection. Athena, you disappoint me so. Oh, you think you would label me as a murderer? Now pay attention. The murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m. But I was already at home by that time. So, how could I have been involved in this crime?
Objection!
Professor means you. Can you really prove that you had already gone home by that time?
Objection. Can you prove that I was still at school?
No, I can't.
So you admit it. Well, you just earned extra credit for your honesty. But you have also earned yourself lavatory cleaning duties until you graduate.
Ew. I had enough of this. No way, man. And I totally object. Robin? I can't believe I fell for the Professor's silver-tongued lies.
Why, you? How dare you talk about your teacher like that?
I'm not listening to you anymore, man. No way, no how. Now, I have a confession to make. Hey, you know those two statues that were outside on stage? I didn't make them all by myself. The statues on stage? Do I want to know where this is headed? I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rung before I had time to finish the other one. So I asked Professor Means to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on stage after the last bell. Right. And it would have been way past 7 p.m. before he could have finished.
Professor Means was still at school? This is incredibly important testimony.
The professor told me, I'll take care of it. I thought my parents would let me be an artist if I said I made both statues myself. I'm so sorry for not telling the truth. Robin.
Objection. Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight. Simon, you're her head honcho among the delinquents. Do something. Gah! And who's in charge of the class pet around here?
Not interested. But if you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course, only real blades will do.
No swords in school. All weapons will be confiscated. Gah! Nurse! Nurse! Where's the school nurse when you need one?
It would seem Sykes Dono seeks a showdown, Professor. In which case, you would do well to draw your staff, quick as lightning.
Very well. Then I will just have to prove my innocence myself. The real lessons begin in second period. Prepare to be served old school style. What does that... Oh, never mind. Your testimony, please.
Professor means work of art.
Now, pay attention. Robin took over half of the day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper, saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I possibly have the time to go to the art room and commit murder? You're saying the defendant saw the finished statues? Precisely. And she said so herself at the detention center yesterday. Her defense team was there and heard her say so too. Don't try to deny it now.
That evening, I went back to the dressing room to get something I forgot there. It was, well, after the last bell rang. I'd say maybe around 8:30. That's when I noticed that both stage statues were finished. They were quite large, and they were each covered with white sheets, but I could tell. Oh, right. The professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address, as the professor charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It would probably take me at least twice as long. So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish in that short a time. Gah, that didn't exactly help our case. But he won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means.
And I need to wrap this up quickly. any attention. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper Wood, saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second.
Hold it!
Why were you in such a hurry?
Objection. In the legal world, your body is your capital. Well, the early bird gets the worm. That's why I get to bed at 9 each and every night. And that's why I was working as fast as I could. I didn't want to miss my bedtime. Well, ready to concede that I never left the stage?
Well, Miss Sykes, do you accept the witness's claim?
Yeah, we gotta accept it. I've tried everything, but I still can't prove anything. I guess I concede.
I couldn't hear you. Say it louder this time.
I concede that Professor Means never left the stage.
That's right. But what took you so long? I was there, her at the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime.
I'm not gonna give up here.
I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Sykes. And unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Objection!
Not yet. The defense still has an objection.
Athena, you've thought of something.
Well, as I said, not yet.
Oh, so it's time for the legal smoke and mirrors?
Not yet, Athena. It's not time to quit. It's at time like these, when it seems like there's no way out. Oh, that you have to. Yeah, I just have to turn this case upside down. Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone to the art room, I should focus on how he could have committed the murder without going there.
It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. But I'll use any means necessary, even casting stones, if it'll distract her. Gah! Who brought the bird to school? Sykes, Dono. If I hear one word of your usual jibber-jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, yet the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between those who face those two key facts?
If I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time, the only other thing that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it. Every last one of us made a huge mistake. Hey, we're totally wrong about the crime scene. If Professor Means was on the stage the entire time, then he must be the killer.
Objection. Ridiculous. The defense has become utterly incoherent.
Objection!
No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was.
Continue, Sykes Dono.
Okay, the murder was actually committed here.
Take that!
The great riddle of this case has been in how the body was moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, then that means the body was never moved at all.
Objection. Silly girl, when the body was found, there was not a drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely, there would have been some blood if there were her murder committed.
There wasn't any blood on stage? Really? But there was something on stage at the time of the murder that somehow was bloodstained.
Take that!
It's true that there were no bloodstains on the stage floor, but there was something on the stage that did have a bloodstain. And that would be the school banner. No blood would have gotten on the floor if this were under the victim when she was killed.
Oh my, that's quite a compelling theory.
Silence!
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense.
That was a pathetic attempt, and you must put every inch of your body into your attack. The autopsy states that the cause of death was loss of blood. Yet only a trace amount was found on that banner. Where did the rest go? Blood getting on her when the body was moved by wire makes more sense than not. Very good, Simon. Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection!
Actually, the defense has something to explain that as well.
You do?
If there was only a trace of blood on the school banner, there must have been something else the killer used to soak up the blood. All I have to do is figure out what. This is what soaked up the blood of the victim.
Take that!
Why, it looks like there's some other piece of fabric on top of the school banner.
It's the governor's banner that had been specially made for the school concert. Since it's on top of the school banner, the blood would have hit it first. It could have easily absorbed most of the blood like a dishcloth. And only a small amount would have soaked through the school banner, too. So it makes total sense for the school banner to only have a little blood on it.
So the banner absorbed hurt the blood like a dishcloth. Yes, that would explain it.
The governor's banner was like a dishcloth? Surely it was like at least a towel of quality.
Objection! Simon, don't just stand there, do something!
Silence!
Sykes, Dono, you are learning to wield the blade quite well. But how do you respond when I come slashing at you like this? The remnants of the large bloodstain was detected in the art room. But why would there be blood there in the murder? Of the murder occurred on the stage as you claim.
Objection!
The blood stain in the art room was faked. How? I'll tell you how. All that we need was something that could transport the blood upstairs. And that something was a piece of evidence that we've just finished discussing. The killer used this evidence to bring the victim's blood up to the art room.
Take that!
To think you stoop so low as to present mere garbage to this court.
It's only garbage because someone tried to destroy it by tossing it in the incinerator. That someone was most likely the killer seeking to get rid of crucial evidence. The killer used the wire to bring the blood-soaked governor's banner to the art room. Then, and the blood was wiped onto the floor, her to create a ruse to make a perfect sense.
Order! Order! This is quite a development. To think the body was never actually moved.
Objection! Hold it right there. The body must have been moved. How else do you explain that loud crash you heard during the mock trial? If it wasn't caused by the body crashing into the statues, then what was it?
I hadn't thought of that. If that loud crash wasn't the body hitting the statues, then what was it indeed? The knot in the school banner shows that something was carried along the wire in it. If that's true, I know what I have to find. Something that was in the art room before the murder, and then on the stage after. The object that was sent down the wire, crashed into the statue was...
Take that!
That statue?
Yes, I believe it was this statue that broke the other two, not Professor Court's body. In the unique statue you see in this on the right, that's the pure white Lady Justice from earlier. Professor Court accidentally broke it while she was polishing it the day before the mock trial. But she used her own unique artistic sense and technique to repair it to as you see now. Nobody would have guessed that it was originally Lady Justice.
Silence!
Perhaps you were on to something. But why, pray tell, would anyone move that scrap heap relic in such a tedious manner? Excellent question, Simon. Keep 'em coming.
You know why. But the fact that you won't acknowledge it shows how twisted you are. Lady Justice was moved during the mock trial. During that time, Professor Means was fabricating an alibi with this pre-recorded speech. If we consider the facts, Lady Justice was moved to point us to the body. Professor Means used this pre-recorded speech to fake an alibi during the mock trial. He wanted to make it look like he couldn't possibly have moved the body. Moving Lady Justice was his way of pointing us to the body and cremating his alibi. Cementing his alibi. Gah!
That's quite a persuasive argument. For an alibi, for a while there, I thought you were taking the trial seriously. Well done.
Objection.
You should never underestimate me, Athena Sykes. Professor Means always means what he says, and says what he means by all means.
Fine then. Say it already. I'm waiting.
The murder occurred the night before, but the body wasn't found until the next day. Countless students passed the stage till they met at the lecture hall for the mock trial. So answer me this. Why didn't anyone see the body that entire time?
That can be explained by...
If the victim was murdered on the stage and left there, the body would inevitably have been discovered. And of course, there was nowhere to hide a body upon the stage.
This is not good, Athena. Our claims is this close to being beaten to a pulp.
I know. But we've come so far.
Yeah. Consider yourself schooled. I couldn't have possibly killed anyone. The killer is none other than Juniper Woods. It always has been and always will be.
Just a minute.
Poor Juniper. She must seriously regret asking you to defend her. But, to add insult to injury, you nearly had Hugh convicted of murder. Surely, you haven't forgotten that little fiasco. Not only did you fail to defend your client, you also raised false charges against her friend. You have no right to call yourself a lawyer.
But if this trial proceeds in the same manner and ends in the same way as the mock trial, would you not lose everything you've worked so hard to gain?
Well, I'll just have to make sure that doesn't happen then, won't I? Don't tell me I failed once again. Failed to save someone near and dear to me. I've worked so hard to become a lawyer. I even studied psychology. Has it all been for naught? Am I just doomed to relive that all over again?
Athena, what's wrong?
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, relax, Athena, breathe. It's not working. Everything's going dark. After all I've done, is this how it ends? Forgive me, Junie. I couldn't protect you like I said I would. Objection! You leave Athena alone, man. She's the one who saved me. It was because of Athena that I could stop hiding and start living my life as a girl again. And she saved the friendship between Hugh, Juniper, and I. I think you're an awesome lawyer, Athena. One of the best. But I raised false charges against Hugh. And that's not all. I've done some seriously unforgivable things.
Objection! What's the big deal? False charges are nothing to be scared of. And I'm not even mad at you. I should really be thanking you. You used legitimate means to expose my wrongdoings and give me a chance to re-examine what's important.
But what does it matter if I can't save Juniper? I mean, the whole reason I come this far is... Objection! It's not over yet, Athena. Even now, at this very moment, I still believe in you. Junie. I know you better than most people, Athena. And I know you'd never surrender to the dark age of the law like that professor did. Thank you, Junie. But I feel like I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do.
Silence!
Stop your bleeding this instant. You look an utter fool.
Prosecutor Blackquill?
There is one who awaits you, is there not? And that is the reason you have studied so very hard. Are you prepared to give up on all you have worked for thus far? It would not do to have you disappoint you know who.
I...
Objection! Oh wait, that was him. You're wasting your time. You have nothing on me. No evidence or anything else to establish my guilt. You are hopeless before the might of lawyers, from whom the ends justify the means.
Objection!
Don't worry, Athena. You're doing fine. The truth will always win against people like him.
But, Apollo, what am I supposed to do now?
Listen, all you have to do is take a deep breath and look back over the entire case.
If there's truth to be found, and there always is, you're sure to find it. Now, let me see you smile. Remember what Mr. Wright said? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles.
Thanks, everyone. You don't have to worry about me now. The worst times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. Athena Sykes is psyched and ready to rock. Prepare for your utter defeat. Into our mind palace. Professor Court was killed in the art room. Wasn't killed in the art room. She was killed right where the body was found. We know because there wasn't any time to move the body from somewhere else. That means the body had to have been hidden somewhere on stage until she was found. Let's think along the lines and see where it takes us. First up, when did Professor Means remove the body from the hiding place? Let's see. What was he doing right before the body was discovered? He was using the span of time to fake alibi created. To move the body to where it would be more easily spotted. Therefore, the only time Miss Professor Means could have removed the body from its hiding place was during the mock trial. If it was during the mock trial, specifically during the speech, Professor Means moved the body to an easily seen location during his long pre-recorded speech. The professor also moved something to the stage that wasn't there before, especially during the mock trial. Professor Means wrapped the white lady Justice in the school banner and sent it zipping down the stage with a crash, killing two birds with one stone. He drew attention to the body and made it look like a murder occurred in the art room. But was there anywhere to hide the body on the stage? It doesn't seem likely. No, there had to be someplace. Wait a second. How about something that shouldn't have been finished but was only mostly done? Something was used to cover up the body. But it didn't draw undue attention because it looked like it belonged there on stage. In that way, no one would suspect there was a body hidden inside. What was already on stage incapable of concealing a body? Oh, I know. The Mr. Wright statue was never actually finished. The body was wrapped under some cloth and hid to hide what was really there. cleverly disguised it as the boss's statue. Miss Newman gave up on the Wright statue, yet Professor Means finished it in a single night.
Yes? What an impressive feat that was.
Objection!
No, this so-called work of art deserves none of our praise. That's because it was only a facade to hide his real work, the murder of Professor Court.
Come again? I'm afraid I don't follow.
He hid the body by making it look like the statue of Mr. Wright. With the body wrapped under a piece of cloth, it looked like the statue.
What?
Wait a second!
Now this is getting interesting.
Objection. No! This is getting preposterous. How would such a thing even be possible?
Objection!
We'll never know until we try.
Uh-oh. I think I know where this is going.
Okay, Apollo. Time to turn me into a reasonable likeness of Mr. Wright. I'm going to pose like the statue, like so. And now I want you to wrap me up in a cloth so that I look like the statue.
I hate to ask the obvious, but where am I supposed to get this magic cloth?
I'm afraid that isn't the right color, Mr. Justice.
Well, given how sudden the request was, it's kind of the best I can do, Your Honor. All right. I think that about does it. Well, what do you think, everyone? Do I look just like the statue of Mr. Wright or what?
Looks like some random person to me.
Weren't the statues a pair of busts? Phoenix Wright has that spiky hair on the back of his head. Oh, forget the hair. The statue whose head is way bigger than in your average person's anyway. You gotta hand it to me for trying anyway. Wait, that's it. The hands! Her hands were raised over her heads, and there are dark bruises around her wrists.
Yeah, the professor was probably tied up with something.
The marks on her wrists indicated she'd been tied up. Apollo, tie me up in a new pose. Oh, wait, you're not into this kind of thing, are you? What? No! Besides, it was your idea. Just tell me how to tie your hands already. Professor Court's wrists were tied together. And I can't help but think that's related. How should I arrange myself to match the shape I want, given her hands were tied?
Present the hands behind my head.
Apollo, tie both my hands behind my head. See, this makes it possible to fake the spikes on the back of Mr. Wright's head.
Sure, but then what about the statue's arm?
With both hands behind your head, you can't exactly complete the pose. Yeah, it would be awfully hard to make the objection pose like this. I can't help but thinking you've forgotten something, Athena. Something on the body that you don't have right now. What did the victim's body have that I don't? The arrow?
Take that!
Oh, right. Hey, there was an arrow sticking out of her side. Okay, Apollo, take that and plunge it into my side. What? Are you crazy? Fine then, go get some duct tape. Rapiditos, ski shell. All right. Hey, I don't need to know other languages, you know, to know bossy when I hear it. The fatal blow to the side. Spiky hair created from the two hands. A masterpiece in the making. Now, cover me with the cloth. But remember to make the arrow stand out, okay? Mommy, the arm's too short. Shh. Remember your indoor voice, dear.
Nobody's buying it. The arrow's nowhere near long enough.
But what else could you use for an arm?
Still won't give up, eh? I must commend you. If only you her spirit and determination.
Of course she's not given up. After all she's put me through, she owes me an explanation. And one that makes sense. Now, disappoint me again, and the penalty will be doubly painful.
Yikes! I better get it right this time. Think, Athena, think! Professor Court was murdered when she stopped by the stage by Professor Means. If it wasn't premeditated, he must have used something close at hand and in his little ruse. Apollo, show me those stage setup photos again.
Like what? Right now? Oh, okay, hold on.
Please be in this photo. Oh, just right. It just has to be. The arm on Mr. Wright's statue is really this right here.
Take that!
Got it. I know what he used for the arm on the statue of Mr. Wright.
This is absurd. There is no such thing in this photo.
Don't play dumb with me, Professor. It's the staff you have right there.
Staff? This is the spear of a great legal warrior.
Whatever, just hurry up and lend it to me. The length is perfect, for Mr. Wright couldn't possibly object to such an awesome arm. Okay, go for it, Apollo.
Sure, I'll give you a hand. Your arm a hand. Cloth and binding coming right up.
Objection!
It's Phoenix Wright. Look, it's that famous lawyer.
That's definitely him. I'd know that pose anywhere.
We did it, didn't we? Well, am I not the splitting image of the legendary Phoenix Wright? The man who will bring us out of these dark ages and into an area of brilliant golden light.
Golden light? All I see before me is the pink spreader of a man. Specter of a man.
That's just because Mr. Wright likes his statue. He's possibly tickled pink. Get it, Apollo? He's tickled pink?
Blah. That joke deserves a pink slip.
It seems the gallery is quite impressed with the defense's sharp thinking. And the witness?
Bah. The resemblance is nothing more than a coincidence.
Objection!
Not so fast there, Buster. Unfortunately for you, I can prove my theory to be more than mere coincidence. To prove that his spear was thrust into the victim, all we have to do is examine the spear for blood. We had assumed the victim's jagged wound came from an arrow becoming forcibly shoved in. But if the wound was from this spear instead, then we should be able to detect traces of the victim's blood on it.
Your Honor, a brief recess, if you will. By any means possible. What if I get rid of my spear? Wait, what if I burn it? If I do that, I'll be found innocent. Yes, I'm innocent, I tell you.
Objection!
Surely you don't expect us to take lectures from you now. Now, I ask you in the gallery. Help me decide the professor's fate.
Breakdown! Oh boy. Prosecutor Blackwell, what has become of our witness, Aristotle Means?
It is as Psyche Stono suspected. Blood was detected on his staff. He has admitted to his heinous crimes, all of it. He shall join us in the clink tomorrow. His teaching skills can be put to good use there.
Great. He'll teach felons that the ends justify the means. So much for rehabilitation. Can I ask what the professor's motive was?
I could barely make out a word heard he said on account of his shattered teeth.
One of Blackwell's fellow inmates was once a surgeon. Why not a former dentist, too?
I eventually had him put a pen to paper. It turns out Professor Means was the one taking bribes. The victim had suspected him after a report from the class snitch. That led her to question him at length the day of the killing, right there on the stage. The result, the heinous crime that was brought before this court. The fool, like Newman, had come to know of the script's contents via the victim's note. It seems he came up with a plan to stab the victim with her own awl in order to make the killing look like one in the script and thus frame the defendant.
But that scrap of paper with Hugh's name on it had the same mark as Professor Court's planner.
Yes, about that. Those planners are bestowed upon all students graduating at the top of their class.
Really? So then...
Indeed. Once upon a time, Professor Means was also adorned the same notebook. The handwriting is being analyzed right now, but like as not, the scrap belongs to him. This too was evidence of the bribery scheme that the victim had obtained. Know that Constance Court was clean, and that only Aristotle Means took the bribes.
To think a professor would murder a colleague when they tried to pin it on a student. If this is the dark age of the law, then we can only hope that a brighter future awaits. And the first step is to hand down my verdict for a promising young lady. This court finds the defendant, Juniper Woods, not guilty. I wish you all the best on your road to becoming a courtroom judge. We will need young people like you if we ever hope to restore the law to its former glory.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll work as hard as I can. Maybe one day I'll be able to work with all of you to make a difference.
Proudly serve Professor Court's memory. Do not let her death be in vain.
That's the last thing I expected to hear from him today.
Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Thena. I really mean it. It was nothing, really. I can take the biggest tangled mess of a case and unravel it just like that.
I don't know. You look pretty wound up there at the end. Literally and figuratively.
You look pretty hungry for a knuckle sandwich, Buster. I wanted to thank you too, Apollo.
Don't mention it.
The way you were always there for Thena when she was in a bind. And at the detention center. You were where your smile gave me hope. Hope where there was none. I feel like the warm rays of the sun shining down upon a peaceful woodlands. I think you're absolutely amazing person.
Thanks, Juniper. That means a lot to me. But I still have lots of work to do. And I can't wait until I see you on the judge bench.
I promise you'll get there someday. That's why until that day, I'll... Guys, I've got some big news. I mean, this is huge. Oh, am I interrupting something? No, it's okay, I think. So, what's the big news? The school festival. Oh, it's supposed to have been canceled after what happened, but...
We just got a call. In memory of Professor Constance Court, who worked so hard to make it happen, the festival is being extended one extra day until tomorrow.
Really? All right.
We've got a special treat for all of you. A love letter for Themis Legal Academy. Achtung, baby. It's time for the Guitar Serenade.
Really need to wrap this up now. This has been my longest episode yet.
Wow. Oh, that was so much fun. School festivals are amazing. I think you and Robin are getting a little carried away. Aw, your singing voice, Juniper. It could melt my heart.
Mr. Wright, thank you for that training seminar. Just remember, the ejection pose is all about attitude. Oh, and congrats on your mock trial win, although Robin had you for a while there.
I did, didn't I? But I'm just glad we're back to how we used to be, thanks to Athena. And you know what? I think I'll stick with being a prosecutor after all. I'm going to make up for my mock trial loss by winning the real deals in court.
Mock trial loss? What loss?
Wait, did they reprise the trial and you won? Level-headed lawyer, course genius, and hot-blooded prosecutor course student will go head-to-head in a mock trial battle for the She-Devil's Black Heart. So, does this mean it's really gonna happen?
Juniper, there's something I've been needing to say to you.
Huh? Oh! Is he really going to do what I think he is?
Juniper? Can we still be friends? You know, best friends like we've always been?
Huh? Best friends? Hugh, weren't you going to profess your love for Juniper if you won the mock trial?
No, I was going to confess that I'm not a genius and that I'm really 25 years old. But you already dragged it out of me during the trial.
Whoops. Listen, Hugh. You too, Robin. Miriam. Me too? Miriam's got this tactical espionage action stuff down to the science. I've been thinking. It's up to us to put an end to the dark age of the law if we can. Let's all work together to usher in a new age where winning only results in the truth. And the end never justify the means. Count me in.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Best friends forever, huh? No matter what anyone says, nothing beats true friendship.
You bet. And what about your BFF, Apollo?
Aren't you a bit old to be using that word? But yeah, he's the best friend a guy could have.
Which reminds me, we're supposed to meet up and gossip about the new girl in our office. Hey, no talking about me behind my back. So what kind of guy is he anyway?
Well, if I had to describe him in one word,
And so, after some slight arm twisting...
Oh wait, she's going too fast, I can't read it.
Unfortunately, the promise was never meant to be fulfilled. For not long after, their friendship was mercilessly severed by fate. And the bonds between us began to fray and unravel as well.
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Even now, those words continue to ring in my ears. The discord in our ever-cheerful Apollo's voice made him sound so cold, so distant. Why, Apollo? Why? Why would you leave us all behind?
Oh boy, this episode went way too long. I hope you enjoyed this long episode of Let's Replay Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you want. Ring that bell to be notified when our next videos come out. We do new videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and occasionally Saturday and Sundays. All this helps my channel to grow so you have more videos to enjoy. Until the next episode, this is Saur Darkchylde, signing off. Have a good night, folks, and enjoy the trailer for the next trial.
One hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Come in at 2. Come in. Do you copy?